This last one now is for the Hindu people, right? I know that I severely underappreciated you all in the past, right? Before I came to the realization of who I was. But I just would like to take the opportunity to thank you all. I don't like people to worship me, let's be honest. Right? That's why I've been fighting against this thing for so long. It's not that I fight an earlier. I would never fight you all. Right? If I know that people who worship me, right, before I come to know who I is, right, why would I be against earlier? I not against earlier. I against the practice of worshiping me because I don't like people worshiping me because it's a wrong thing, right? Because I humble enough to know that I is not God, right? That's the only reason I've been fighting this fight. So I not fighting polytheism. I not fighting you all, right? I not fighting Hindus, right? I know why I fighting. I fighting the fact that all you been worshiping me, right, as a little God, right, before I even know who I was, right? That is why I fighting because I is not a little god. I just a human being, and I just want to live a normal human life, right? So that's the fight I've been fighting. So it had nothing to do with Olia. In fact, I severely underappreciate it because if Olia could have been worshiping me all my life, it means that I is the one, right? It means that I is the one who underappreciated Hindu people, right? If Hindu people was worshiping me all my life, it means that I am devoting money, energy, time, prayers, right, all the time towards me. I mean, I is the one who underappreciated Hindu people, right? It means I was the one who didn't recognize you all because all they recognized me. In fact, all they worshiped me, right, without me knowing who I was. All they been worshiping me, right? So I take the blame and the fault for that, right? For underappreciating Hindu people, right? Because that is what I did. I underappreciated Hindu people, right? Sanatana Hindu people, Shakti worshiping people, all around, right? I underappreciated earlier, right? So this video is to appreciate earlier, not for worshiping me, but at least to acknowledging my existence, right? Because I don't like people worshiping me, but the reality is that only recognize that I is not an illusion, right? And only know that I real, right? And only know for a fact, and only know through direct knowledge, and only know through true knowledge that I am in fact real and I am not an illusion, right? And I proved that earlier that I am not illusion. I proved that I was actually born as a human being, here incarnate, right? As the Bhagavad Gita itself say, hey, sometimes you is born for a short period of time, you die and go, right? Died nature Krishna, you come and live for a short period of time, right? You live and go. Sometimes you live for a long life, and then you leave Earth, right? And that's just how Krishna does function, right? That's how God does have Krishna functioning, right? Either you come, you die, you perform your function, you live for a short life and disappear, meaning you die, or you come and you live a long life and you teach a message and then you return back to God, right? And I want to thank you all for actually knowing my name, right? Because all you know my name, right? Hindu people all you know my name, right? And all you not ashamed, right? And that is one thing, right? I used to think Hindu people shame a culture, this and that, right? Hindu people actually know my name, right? By my real name, by my ancient name, right? All you know my name by my ancient name, and all you don't be ashamed to call it, and all you don't deny me, right? And even though I tell all you to don't worship me, all you still worshiping me, but I know what I want, right? I don't want you to continue worshiping me, right? Because I is not as a normal human being walking the earth, right? I is not no God, I is not no demigod. I don't see myself as such, but at least all you know that I actually take incarnation, right? And I hear and I talk into all you and I teach in a message, right? And all you know, right, that the Bhagavad Gita is true warrior knowledge and it have no other scripture, right? At least all you recognize that have no other scripture, right? That could be so direct, so clear cut knowledge than the Bhagavad Gita, right? At least all you have that form of wisdom, right? And that's the best gift that I could give you all. And my knowledge, right, is the best gift. That is God's knowledge that was given to me, gifted to me, right? And at least all you have that, right? All you have that, and nobody else or no other religion can come and fuck with all your head, right? Because once you have Bhagavad Gita knowledge, you have knowledge to control yourself. And once you could control yourself, any other religion can come and whoop up all your head about shit, right? So once you have Bhagavad Gita knowledge, right, which is the knowledge given to me from God to give to Alya, right, which it was I did in the past, and it remained, right, nothing changed, nothing ever changed about that knowledge, right? That knowledge is eternal wisdom, right? And that's what people of other religions do get, and they will never get, right, because they're so stuck in the ways. They will never get, they don't even know my name, and they can't even call my name, they can't even pronounce my name, right? People of other religions are ashamed to even say my name or ashamed to acknowledge that I exist in this moment, in this history, in this timing, right? people of other religions deny me, right? To the extent that you don't want to believe that I exist in this moment, in this present moment, in this timing, right? So this video is really to thank Hindu people, right? Sanatana Hindu people in particular, right? Because I know that I would have denied you all, right? And if I know I deny earlier, right? I take in accountability to say, hey, I deny earlier. I not like other people, right? If I deny Sanatana Hindus, I go come and apologize and say, hey, I sorry for that, right? I sorry for denying Sanatana Hindus, right? Because I don't like to deny people. And I don't like people to feel like they waste the resources. You see, when people spend resources, right, without me knowing who I was, or they spend resources, all kind of money doing praise, this, that, chanting, jap, right, Hare Krishna, jap, XYZ, right? I wouldn't come and just, I self-reflect, right? I am somebody who self-respect, reflect, and I self-respect. I self-reflect, right? And when I know that it has so much people in the world, right, chanting Hare Krishna every day, right, without me knowing it since I born. So all is sustaining me since I born. Now that stopped in 2022, right, when I awakened, right? That stopped in 2022, that sustenance, and I started self-sustain and God sustained by God and whatever, right? But with the fact that all I've been doing that and so helping me to sustain, right, while I was living and marrying myself and doing my own thing, right? That means that I can't underappreciate all and I value it, right? I can't say, hey, well, I cast aside these people, right? I would never do something like that. That is why I am the Hindu prophet, right? If it had to be anything, I am the Hindu prophet, nobody else prophet. Because I done with people ridiculing me one, right? Pretending that I am the illusion too, when I'm clear cut in front you all, right? I done with people devaluing me. I done with people not appreciating me, right? I done with people ridiculing me, right? I done with people pretending that I don't exist, right? I done with people treating me as a joke, right? I don't want people treating me as though I'm a transgendered or a batty person, right? I don't want all of them because I love myself and I know I love myself and I respect myself and I know I respect myself. I don't want people pretending that I need to leave myself in order to become a character in their religious text, right? I done with all of that, right? I done with all them things, right? So there's just to say, hey, well, um, I don't know what to tell her, really, right? I don't know if it doesn't even make a difference to me at the point of death. Right? The reason why I just say, hey, when I turn to the Islam religion and stuff, I even get a phone call from these people, by the way, right? But anyhow, when I turned to that religion, right, and I was like, hey, chant la ilaha illallah, right? Now I know and I recognize now at this point that every religion is man-made, right? So it don't even have anything to do with a forget about the people and just focus on Allah, because that is an illusion. You know what's real to me? We live in a real world, and if somebody want to contact you and reach out to you, they will do that, right? If somebody want to contact you and reach out to you, they will do that, right? So I done with that philosophy too, because I realized that philosophy is actually an illusion, right? The reality that, oh, just forget about everybody, right, and focus on Allah alone, right? Because that reality, what our reality is sending me into now, it pushing me into be the Abraham character that they're looking for, right? You know, they're looking for the second coming or whoever is shit, right? So that philosophy now, right? Forget everybody else, right? And focus on Allah and focus on yourself and switch off your phone and this and that, right? And go in the mountains, right? And go into silence, right? It forcing me now to be the character they want me to be. And I don't want to be that character, trust me, right? I don't want to be that character because I is a warrior and I just fight, right? That fella is a fucking nobody just volunteer to dead for anybody since like that, right? Um, I am a warrior and I here to fight for righteousness, right? I'm not here to die for people unrighteousness, right? I here to fight for righteousness until I die, right? I'm not here to volunteer to die for anybody unrighteousness. I here to fight for righteousness until I die, right? That is what I'm here for, right? So that what God sent me here for, right? So I do business in what people who calling me some other name that is not my name, right? I know business in what all them things. I know business in what people who can't even pronounce my name, right? In any version of the reality, right? I know bothering about any of them thing, right? This video is really to say, hey, well, thanks to Hindu people and stuff, because You all would have sustained me for the time that I didn't know who I was, right? You would have helped in the sustenance process of me, right? And I really, these two other religions did the worst to me, and the fact that nobody at the top level reached out to me to say the sorry, right? And I, as the one, right, who had to be apologizing, but I don't apologize to them, because if all they could do me that kind of thing, and through all the scripture, right, through all the scripture, right, paint me as a hoe, right, and give me karma for being a hoe, right, implement man-made karma upon me, like I don't know what's karma. I was sent here as karma, but people in Christianity want to teach me karma. I was sent here as karma, right? But people in Christianity want to treat me like if I don't know what's karma. People in Islam want to treat me like I don't know what's karma, and I was sent here as karma, right? So when you have a situation like that going on, the best thing to do is to leave them books, leave that, and focus on the knowledge that you was given as a Hindu, right? Focus on the knowledge that you was given as a Hindu, right? And let that carry you through the world, because that's what I just always say this in my life, right? If you don't know your own religion, you'll always get your head whopped up by people who come in and pretend that they know your religion better than you, right? If you don't know your own religion, your dharma, right? You'll always get your head whopped up by people pretending that they know your religion more than you know it, right? So focus on the book, right? Focus on the book teaching you how to battle yourself, war yourself, right? Because at the end of the day, that's still the greatest teaching of all time, right? And it's an eternal wisdom, and nothing can actually fight that wisdom, right? There's a wisdom that no religion can fight, because it doesn't belong to our religion, right? The Bhagavad Gita knowledge doesn't belong to our religion, right? It doesn't belong to no religion. That is actually Krishna teaching that is righteousness, not religion. Is righteousness and not religion, right? So that knowledge is knowledge that anybody could come in your head, or whisperer, right? Shisperer. No whisperer could come into your head and tell you X, Y, Z, X, Y, Z, X, Y, Z, right? At least only know how to pronounce my name, right? Anyway, have a blessed evening, everybody. But always know that chanting my name is not the only solution, right? You had to have some kind of practical knowledge too and implement it, right? This is about to be probably my last video of all time, and I'm being honest about this, right? I want to say I'm being honest about something, I'm honest about it. Have a blessed night.